Hi, everybody. I have been reviewing some of your work and I want to point out some highlights, especially about the ways that you all are responding to each other in two assignments. One is here from the last unit, Unit 5, about responding to each other's artworks, and the other is in Unit 6 about doing a critique of each other's inquiry work. So in the artwork assignment, it was a fairly brief response that was called for. It's not something that you all would be revising and working further with. So I asked you to kind of keep it positive and specific. And you did a wonderful job of that. And I wanted to point out a couple of examples here. One is here in Gus's video that he made. And you notice he has a nice artist statement here. And then I look down and I see that Isaac has responded and Meredith and Gus has responded to them. And looking more specifically, Isaac asks a question about, did you see what you expected to as you went along? And Meredith asks, comments that she loves the video and a particular thing about it. And then she asks a question about how did he make it, about biking and filming. And Gus answered that. So through this exchange, Gus learned about what they were seeing. We learned more about how he made it, which is pretty awesome, biking and filming at the same time. And it was a really good, brief kind of encounter. In the critique assignment here in Unit 6, I've asked you to go much more in depth. I hope you liked my little goat video. I was so excited when I realized what was going on around me at the state fair. And I've given you some possibilities here. And the very first critique has already happened. And Jordan is kind of getting ahead because she's going to be gone for over a week for a Thanksgiving trip to Hawaii to go diving, among other things, which is pretty awesome. And you will see diving figure into her inquiry a fair amount. But she's also just interested in oceans more broadly, and you see a lot of information here. And you can see that Isaac has posted one quick comment, and I responded to that. He's posted another one here. So you can see that he has learned to comment on a particular phrase or sentence in Wikispaces, which is what this video goes over, in case you don't know how to do that. It'll be very useful when you do your critique. And then when we go over to Jordan's page, exploring one of her two questions, you can see that Isaac posted a kind of cautionary note, or here, a way to think about balancing the blog and the personal experience with data-based objective resources. And down a little further, he posted a question about how common is a certain phenomenon that Jordan was talking about. And in fact, she answered that. And you can see it goes on with very particular questions and responses and ideas about the topics that Jordan is raising and the resources that she has explored. That's just what we want to see in a critique. And I will also point out that Jordan has a link back to her main page so that it's easy to navigate within her area of the inquiry section of our Wikispaces blog. So I really think this is a process that can make your work better and make you and help you learn from each other. And I also think it's a really valuable life skill, especially as you go off to college. You will find, as someone who's been in an independent school and has had more rigorous training, for example, in writing, that some public school students have had, your dorm mates, your friends, people around you will sometimes turn to you and ask for advice about their work. And it's really important to understand kind of what they're asking and calibrate your response according to what they really have time for and what they can use. So the difference between the artwork response and the critique of inquiry is a good example of kind of two very different levels and degrees of response that are very appropriate to different situations. So keep that in mind as you go through your critique, and I hope you will find it a really valuable exercise.